Eli Ross had another quarrel with his female secretary. This time, he was determined to break up. At 1 a.m., he hugged me in despair, his eyes red. Although Weiwei is young, beautiful, and fun, she's too immature and doesn't love me at all. I don't want her anymore. Darling, I finally understand now. All these years, it's only been you who truly loved and tolerated me. Let's have a child. With a child, my heart will stay at home, and Lu Weiwei won't be able to sway me in the slightest. After a moment of silence, I took out the divorce papers I had prepared long ago. Let's get divorced. I don't want you anymore either. Divorce? He looked as if he had heard some absurd joke, his expression swiftly shifting from shock to anger. June Fox, how many times have you threatened divorce this year? You never actually go through with it anyway. So what's the point? 8 years of relationship, and just because I made a mistake that any man in the world could make. You're going to completely deny me. His voice grew louder and louder, as if he had every right to be angry. Besides, I didn't even touch Lu Weiwei's hand. It doesn't even count as cheating. Can you stop being so unreasonable? I lowered my head and forced a weary smile. Eli, this past year, you and Lu Weiwei have broken up and gotten back together dozens of times. You've said the same words dozens of times too. I can no longer tell what's true or false, and I don't want to try anymore. Just consider me unreasonable. I pushed the divorce papers toward him. Sign them. I'm tired. After all, I'll always just be his fallback, his backup option. If you don't love me anymore, then let me go. Why keep me waiting like a clown hoping you'll turn around? He froze for a moment, then suddenly grabbed the agreement and tore it to shreds, tossing it into the trash can with a flick of his hand. The next second, he reached out and pulled me into an embrace. Resting his chin on the top of my head, his voice softening. June, this time I've really cut ties with Lu Weiwei. It's too late now. Let's sleep. After a pause, he added, as if granting a favor, tomorrow I'll take you to pick out a new apartment, and you'll feel better. This is the pathetic understanding between us. Every time he had a conflict with Lu Weiwei and wanted to reconcile, I would give him a way out. A year passed, and he bought me 28 apartments. But he seemed to forget that I'm the company's chairman. I don't need him to pay for a house at all. I turned my back to him and lay down, speaking calmly. I'll prepare another divorce agreement tomorrow. He smiled knowingly, probably thinking I had forgiven him once again. The next second, he pressed up against me from behind, his warm breath brushing against the back of my ear. Darling, you promised. Give me a child. Just as I was about to break free, his phone suddenly rang. Big brother. Big brother, answer the phone. Your little cutie is calling. The sickly sweet ringtone was especially jarring in the silent bedroom. He hastily pulled away, rushing out the door without even stopping to put on his slippers. Soon, his deliberately hushed voice could be heard in the hallway. Baby, don't cry. I swear I didn't touch her. The person on the phone wouldn't let it go, and he paced back and forth in frustration. I quietly turned over and blinked my dry eyes. There were no tears left to shed. The door was suddenly flung open. He barged in holding his phone. The camera lens pointed straight at me lying on the bed. See, she's fast asleep. Why would I lie to you? I only felt a wave of embarrassment, hurriedly pulling the blanket over my head to hide. But he yanked the blanket away, the glaring phone light like a slap stinging across my face. I instinctively closed my eyes, yet still saw Lu Wei's smug smile on the screen. Eli brother, I really don't mind. After all, June is your wife. I abruptly knocked the phone away. I'm going to sleep. Eli clearly froze. You weren't asleep, I thought. Lu Weiwei suddenly screamed with a sob in her voice. Eli brother, why did the screen suddenly go black? I'm so scared. Before the words could fade, Eli had already turned and rushed out. There's an emergency at the company. I have to go right now. The door slammed shut. In the darkness, my heart suddenly ached for a moment. 3 years of dating. 5 years of marriage. I don't understand how we ended up here. All these years of starting a business, we stayed up countless nights and endured endless social events together. The company was doing better and better, but he became increasingly distant towards me. We grew to have nothing to say to each other. Birthdays, Valentine's Day, wedding anniversaries. I never received any surprises again. I always comforted myself, thinking, we're an old married couple now. why bother with romance? Until Lu Weiwei appeared, the new secretary is smart and capable, delivering witty remarks at meetings, playing golf beautifully, and even handling the most difficult clients with ease. Eli looked at her with a burning intensity not seen in a long time. She was perfect in every way, except for her pride. She refused to be his caged canary. The more unattainable she was, Eli the more obsessed he became. This little tiff was simply because Lu Weiwei took a male colleague's ride home. Tossing and turning in bed, the phone screen suddenly lit up. As expected, it was a message from Lu Weiwei. In the photo, Eli had changed into silk pajamas and was standing by the floor-to-ceiling window leisurely sipping wine. "June, sis, Eli is home now, so you can rest easy." I did feel at ease, even finding it somewhat laughable. I remember when I first discovered their ambiguous relationship, I went to look for Lu Weiwei. At the time, she said to me with visible impatience, "June, I've been rejecting him constantly, and it's been troubling me too. Can't you keep your own husband in check?" The next day, Eli lashed out at me. "Weiwei has helped me so much at work. I was just giving her gifts to show my appreciation. By causing a scene at the company, are you trying to ruin her career? Look at that, they're all so innocent, and I'm the only one being unreasonable." Later, Lu Weiwei seemed determined to prove something to me. Beginning to report every little detail meticulously, on her birthday, Eli specially invited a Michelin chef to make a cake on site, and the entire company took a day off just to celebrate her. On Valentine's night, thousands of drones formed her profile in the night sky, eventually transforming into a shower of pink meteors. Even on her work anniversary, they custom-made a diamond-encrusted employee badge for her and personally pinned it on during the morning meeting. Where would such high-profile romance require her to specifically announce? Who in the entire company doesn't know about it? Who isn't aware? Seeing that I hadn't replied for a long time, she actually sent a video call invitation directly. In the past, I would always flusteredly hang up. But now, I feel it doesn't matter anymore. The moment the video call connected, a flicker of surprise crossed her face before she forced a smile and turned the camera toward Eli on the sofa. His eyes were closed, as if he were already half asleep. "Eli Gidge is too tired, so he's resting on the sofa," she whispered, deliberately explaining to the camera, "I sleep in the bedroom. Don't worry, June Jie, I'm not that kind of casual person." Before she could finish speaking, Eli suddenly reached out and pulled her into his arms. "Weiwei, just say yes. If you nod, I'll divorce June immediately. I've long grown tired of her. Coming home every day to her lifeless demeanor makes me feel hopeless about life. All she does is revolve around me, at work, at home, no hobbies of her own, no social circle, following me like a shadow. It's downright suffocating." My mind went blank, and a sharp, stabbing pain spread through my chest. In his eyes, 8 years of companionship had turned into a suffocating shackle. Perhaps to make sure I heard her clearly, Lu Weiwei suddenly raised her voice. "Eli brother, I told you I won't be the other woman. You're still married. What's the point of saying these things to me?" Eli remained silent for a few seconds, then spoke with a hint of grievance. "Baby, do you think I'm too old for you? I'm only 5 years older than you. There's no generation gap between us at all." Lu Weiwei abruptly pushed him away. "Stop changing the subject. The truth is, you just can't bear to get a divorce, can you?" The next moment, Eli suddenly darkened his expression and turned away petulantly. "I'm tired, going to sleep." Lu Weiwei's tears instantly welled up, large drops falling onto his cheek. He let out an impatient tsk, but still leaned in to kiss away her tears. "Be good, just wait a little longer. Once the company goes public and I take back June's shares, we'll get divorced." The video abruptly cut off at that moment. A sudden wave of sorrow washed over me, and the tears I thought had long dried up burst forth once more. This company was founded with the compensation money from my parents' car accident. When drafting the divorce agreement, I foolishly agreed to split the shares equally with him. Little did I know, he would even try to take away this last half that remained in my hands. Since he doesn't want an amicable parting, then I no longer need to hold back. With trembling hands, I dialed my lawyer's number, my voice eerily calm. "Redraft the agreement. The company is my premarital asset. Not a single share will be conceded. At dawn, I retrieved the overnight prepared divorce papers from the law firm and was about to head to the company to have him sign them. The phone suddenly rang. It was his best friend calling. Sis-in-law, brothers at Manyun completely wasted. You need to come get him, I replied calmly. Contact Lu Weiwei, we already did. She told me to call you. The voice hesitated. Sis-in-law, did you two fight? Brother dragged us out in the middle of the night. Didn't say a word, just drowned himself in liquor, white and foreign mixed. If this keeps up, something bad will happen. Seeing my silence, he continued to persuade, honestly. After so many years of marriage, you both must be tired of each other's looks. Lu Weiwei is just a little novelty for him to seek some excitement. Once this phase passes, he'll surely settle down. If you're really that angry, you could also find someone for yourself. That would make it even, wouldn't it? I let out a cold laugh. Send me the private room number. I'm going to sign a document. He breathed a sigh of relief. Great, I knew sister-in-law would be the most reasonable. Pushing open the private room door, a strong smell of alcohol hit me. Eli was still wearing that silk pajama set, collar wide open, leaning on the sofa with unfocused eyes. His buddies stood up as if granted amnesty when they saw me. We'll leave him to you. We need to go catch up on sleep. Eli waved at me with bleary eyes. The corners of his mouth curled in that familiar arc. I approached expressionlessly when he suddenly yanked me into his embrace. His burning face buried in my shoulder. I felt his shoulders trembling, and soon, warm liquid soaked through my clothes. His voice was hoarse. Lu Weiwei, you're fucking heartless. It's freezing in the middle of the night, and I didn't even have a coat on, yet you kicked me out. I only kissed your eyes because it hurt me to see you cry. I promised not to touch you before marriage, but it's been a year. Who else dates as pathetically as I do? I stood frozen in place, letting him hold me. After a long while, I finally whispered, do you really love her that much? Eli lifted his drunken head, seeming to realize I wasn't the person he was expecting, and abruptly pushed me away. Who are you? Don't touch me. You're not Weiwei. Go away. I want Weiwei. Staggering back from his push, I knocked over the coffee table. The liquor bottle shattered on the floor into pieces, glass shards piercing my palm, yet I felt no pain. Slowly pulling out the glass shard from my palm, I casually shook off the blood and handed the divorce agreement to him. Sign it. Once you do, you can be with Lu Weiwei. His gaze fell on my bleeding hand, and suddenly, in a panic, he grabbed my hand and gently blew on it. Honey, how did you get hurt? Does it hurt? I coldly withdrew my hand and shoved the pen into his grasp. Sign it. Eli suddenly threw the agreement aside, wrapping his arms around my waist like a petulant child. Honey, I won't sign. I said I wouldn't get a divorce. Didn't you already agree to have a baby with me? The agreement lay soaked in the spilled liquor on the floor, its ink slowly bleeding into a blurred stain. This is already the second time. The first time he said I was being unreasonable, and this time his pretending to be drunk and acting crazy. As tears threatened to spill out uncontrollably, I tilted my head back to hold them in and raised my hand to slap him. Eli, what exactly do you want? I'll step aside. I'll let you two be together. It's just signing a piece of paper. Is that so difficult? He suddenly grabbed my wrist, his drunken eyes glazed over as he revealed a gentle smile. Don't be angry, my love. Your hand is injured. Hitting me would only hurt you. Those words were like a blunt knife, stabbing straight into my heart. A year ago, I was similarly wounded all over, yet I chose to forgive him amidst his sweet whispers. I never thought a year would pass and I'd find myself in the same situation again. He knows exactly how to manipulate me. One slap and a piece of candy, and I'd run to him without hesitation, just like before, but not this time. I raised my other hand and slapped down with all my strength. June sis, Eli brother is just drunk. How could you hit him? Lu Weiwei's sharp voice suddenly came from the doorway. Eli's eyes instantly lit up as he staggered toward her. Weiwei, I knew you couldn't bear to leave me. Lu Weiwei quickly steadied the swaying man and turned to scold me. June, today's noon is the company's IPO roadshow. You should understand how important this cocktail party is. Right, do you two have to resort to violence when you argue? How are we supposed to face the investors after that slap? If someone asks, am I supposed to say Ross always gets beaten by his own wife? I was practically laughing in disbelief at her sheer audacity. Secretary Lou, may I ask in what capacity you're speaking to the company's chairman? Even if Eli doesn't attend this reception today, what's the big deal? You're just a lowly secretary, aren't you overstepping your bounds? Lu Weiwei's face instantly turned deathly pale, her eyes immediately reddening. Fine, I don't care, anyway, if the investors aren't happy, it's still me. The little secretary who's supposed to shield you from drinking, who'll suffer. At worst, I'll just end up with a stomach hemorrhage like last time. I let out a cold laugh. When have you ever really shielded me from drinking? How about giving you a chance today to block all the drinks for both me and Ross? Every time there's a business dinner, she hides behind and pushes me, the chairman, to the front. I was vomiting from drinking at the dinner table, while she was busy patting the back and making soup for Eli, who barely drank a few glasses. Lu Weiwei's face stiffened, and tears instantly burst forth. June, you just want to take this chance to get back at me. Can't control your own husband, so you take it out on me. She pretended to push Eli away. I quit this job, I resign. Eli sobered up completely in an instant, immediately holding her tightly while shooting me a reproachful glare. June, Weiwei was just thinking about the company's interests. Can't you be a little more accommodating to her? Then he turned and gently coaxed Lu Weiwei. Weiwei, you're my right-hand woman, the company can't function without you. We agreed to work together until retirement, no resignations allowed. With that, he put his arm around Lu Weiwei and walked out without looking back. In the car, Lu Weiwei naturally followed Eli and sat in the back seat. June, I still need to confirm the banquet arrangements with Eli. Could you please sit in the front? I had already settled into the passenger seat and ignored her. Eli waved his hand. Never mind her. Let's get down to business. I closed my eyes for a moment and casually turned on the car music to ease my mood, only to find all my playlists were gone, leaving just one glaring title, Baby Weiwei's favorite songs. I took a deep breath. The driver nervously explained, Fox, this wasn't me. I know, I said calmly. This car is dirty. Dispose of it tomorrow. Eli suddenly looked up, his gaze sharp. June, what do you mean? Lu Weiwei immediately grabbed his sleeve, her eyes reddening. Eli brother, don't be angry. June's sister just means I'm dirty. The most important thing now is the cocktail party. As a secretary, I have no dignity to speak of. It's okay to endure some grievances. Eli glared at me fiercely. June, I'll settle accounts with you tonight. Settle accounts? Does he think I'd give him the chance? I took out my phone and immediately messaged my lawyer. Prepare to file for divorce. I'll send you the evidence later. Eli mistook my silence for surrender and smirked triumphantly. With that foul temper of yours, who else could put up with you besides me? At the office, Lu Weiwei eagerly helped Eli adjust his attire. Right in front of me, she tied his tie, fixed his hair, and even pretended to ice his perfectly fine cheek, getting a secretary's salary but doing a wife's job. I really drew the short straw. Eli quickly soothed. All right, Weiwei, I'll double your salary starting tomorrow. I smiled and chimed in. Why not just marry her and take her home as your wife? Eli hissed in a lowered voice. June, that's enough. You're so much older than Weiwei. Can't you act your age? I raised an eyebrow at him. Didn't you say it's just 5 years older? When did I? Eli suddenly froze. You heard everything last night. What else did you hear? At that moment, several investors pushed the door open and entered. Fox chairman, Ross CEO, long time no see. How have you been lately? At the cocktail party, Lu Weiwei, as usual, pushed me to the forefront to socialize. Just as I raised my glass, she suddenly gave me a hard shove from behind. The entire glass of red wine splashed onto my face, the alcohol stinging my eyes, leaving me momentarily unable to open them. Around me, waves of mocking laughter erupted. I awkwardly tried to leave, but Lu Weiwei grabbed me firmly. She snatched a napkin and roughly wiped my face. Fox Dong. Fine wine should be savored slowly. Gulping it down like this only makes the executives laugh at you, she scrubbed with such force. It felt like she was trying to peel off a layer of my skin. I raised my hand to push her away. As soon as my fingers touched her shoulder, Eli dashed over in a flash, shielding her behind him and slapping me across the face in retaliation. A sharp crack echoed, and the entire banquet hall fell into complete silence. Eli shouted sternly, "June, you can't even hold a glass properly. What else are you good for? Utterly disgraceful. Wei Wei kindly helped you tidy up, and not only are you ungrateful, but you also tried to hit her. Get out." I covered my stinging cheek, the alcohol burning my eyes as tears streamed uncontrollably. "Eli, she was the one who pushed me first. Am I not even allowed to defend myself?" His expression grew even darker as he roughly pushed me away. "Wei Wei pushed you. Ask anyone present who saw it. June, don't always shift your own mistakes onto others, it only makes people look down on you more." I staggered a few steps before regaining my balance, then suddenly burst into laughter. Just now, I had actually tried to explain myself to him, hoping he'd give me fairness in return. From beginning to end, hasn't he always firmly chosen Lu Weiwei? What exactly am I still expecting? An 8-year relationship has long become as bland as water. How could it compare to the fresh and exciting allure of new tenderness? At this moment, I suddenly feel utterly absurd. I hung my head and muttered softly, "I despise myself like this too. I should have left long ago." He didn't care at all, lowering his voice to console me. "It's good that you know you're wrong. Stop talking about leaving all the time. If others hear, they'll really think we're getting a divorce. Go clean yourself up and come back. I'll hold things down here, under the meaningful gazes of everyone." I quickly walked toward the door. From behind me came Eli's apologetic voice, "Please excuse our behavior. Fox Chairman has a childlike temper and ruined everyone's mood. I'll punish myself with 3 drinks. Lu Weiwei immediately cooed in agreement. "Eli brother, it's all my fault for angering Fox Chairman. I'll also punish myself with 3 drinks. My footsteps suddenly halted, as if someone had stabbed me in the back. Her nails dug deep into her palms, reopening freshly scabbed wounds until blood seeped out. With investors still present, I couldn't lose my temper on the spot. But this humiliation, I would never swallow it silently. After wiping away the wine stains from my clothes, I immediately summoned my assistant. "Draft a notice for the immediate replacement of the general manager. Reason: Eli has engaged in severely inappropriate personal conduct." The new general manager will be selected through a competitive process among the vice presidents, and all employees will be notified tomorrow morning. The assistant looked uneasy. "Chairman, this matter, Ross, does the general manager know?" I looked up at him. "He'll naturally find out tomorrow." Seeing that I wasn't joking, the assistant gasped and hurried out to handle the matter. In the company, I always put Eli first, and employees habitually sought his approval for matters. Over time, I, as the chairman, became more of a supporting role to him. But now, I'm determined to reclaim everything that rightfully belongs to me. After wrapping up company affairs, I compiled all the photos and video materials Lu Weiwei had sent me over the past year and forwarded them to my lawyer. The lawyer hesitated after reading and said, "Ms. Fox, this evidence is more than sufficient for filing a divorce lawsuit. I just don't quite understand. Since you've had this evidence for so long, why only now?" After a moment of silence, I replied with a bitter smile, "Perhaps because, even after being betrayed, I still wanted to give this 8-year relationship a dignified ending. Over the past year, he hurt me time and again, yet I never once considered kicking him out of the company, even during the asset division. I was prepared to give him half the shares. After all, we built the company together through hard work. But he actually schemed to leave me with nothing. Turns out, when a man hardens his heart, he can be utterly ruthless. Please handle the divorce for me." After saying this to the lawyer, I finally let go of the last trace of attachment. Returning home, I booked the earliest flight to New Island. Once the company matters and divorce notice are sent out, Eli will undoubtedly come to pester me. It's better to leave early and find some peace. While packing my luggage, I realized that in the spacious walk-in closet, my clothes occupied only a small corner, while the rest were all Eli's belongings. Dozens of bespoke suits, hundreds of shirts, an entire wall of luxury watches, and an array of perfumes. I always thought we were accustomed to a simple life, but it turns out that was just my assumption. The purchases of these luxury items coincidentally all occurred after Lu Weiwei appeared. Indeed, once a man falls in love, he starts caring about his appearance. I only took the necessary documents and papers with me. Throwing everything else into the trash, including that wedding ring, as I pushed the door open, dragging my suitcase, Eli happened to return, standing at the doorway hand in hand with Lu Weiwei. Eli saw me and hurriedly let go of Lu Weiwei's hand, a look of guilt flashing across his face. "Honey, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have hit you at the party. I was doing it for your own good. With so many investors and employees watching, dragging it out would only make things more embarrassing for you." I walked past him expressionlessly, heading straight forward. Eli caught sight of the suitcase in my hand and suddenly looked nervous, grabbing my wrist. "Honey, where are you going with that luggage?" I pulled my hand away and said calmly, "Just going out to clear my mind." Eli stared at me intently, showing no intention of letting go. A hint of jealousy flashed in Lu Weiwei's eyes as she smiled and took his arm. "Eli brother, June's sister embarrassed herself in front of so many people today. She'll probably feel too awkward to go to the company these next few days. Let her go away to avoid the spotlight." Eli finally released his grip and said softly, "I'll take you to the airport. I'll look after the company. You can go relax without any worries." I ignored him and immediately slapped Lu Weiwei across the face, saying coldly, "Sorry, but I don't want to leave today's account of you pushing me unsettled until tomorrow. Otherwise, I won't feel at ease, June." Lu Weiwei covered her face and cried out, "You're still slandering me. If it weren't for me and Eli brother going around toasting to save the atmosphere, who would clean up your mess?" "Enough," I coldly interrupted her, watching her put on this pretentious act, suddenly finding it utterly ridiculous. "Must be hard for a secretary like you to constantly clean up after me. The chairman, would you like an extended vacation to rest properly?" She was visibly taken aback, then immediately showed a mocking expression. "Fire me. Everything in the company is decided by Eli brother. Do you even have that authority?" I couldn't help but laugh. "Oh, really, Weiwei?" Eli scolded in a deep voice. "June is after all the chairman. Mind your attitude." Lu Weiwei's face instantly fell, biting her lip as she said aggrievedly, "Yes, Ross, a powerless little secretary like me deserves to take the blame, deserves to be beaten. It's all my own fault." Her eyes brimmed with tears. Her voice choked with emotion. "Fine, I quit. I'll leave right now and stop disturbing your happy reunion. After all, I was always the extra one anyway." With that, she wiped her tears and rushed to hail a taxi by the roadside, only to accidentally stumble and fall, collapsing onto the ground in quiet sobs. Eli panicked instantly, dashing over in a few quick strides to pull her into his arms. "What nonsense! No one in the company can touch you. Be good, don't cry." As he spoke, he directly scooped her up in his arms, looking troubled as he passed by me. "June, you'll have to go to the airport by yourself. With Weiwei in this state, I really can't leave her. Call me when you arrive. I can't rest easy with you traveling alone." Lu Weiwei nestled obediently in the crook of his arm, flashing me a triumphant smile. I raised a brow slightly and scoffed. "Lu Weiwei, you seem quite happy picking up the trash I threw away." The two froze instantly, their faces turning pale and then flushed with anger. I turned around gracefully and got into the private car, and even the roadside plane trees looked exceptionally verdant as I rolled down the window. Letting go of Eli turned out to be this liberating. No more counting the minutes waiting for him to come home. No more wondering if he went to see Lu Weiwei again. This shattered marriage has finally become a thing of the past. As the plane soared into the sky, the sea of clouds outside the window surged endlessly, as vast and boundless as the new life I was about to embark upon. Eli carried Lu Weiwei stepping into the house. This home without June. This was the first time he had brought Lu Weiwei back, and surprisingly, she didn't put on her usual air of reserve as she normally would. By all accounts, after a year of relentless pursuit finally bearing fruit, he should have been overjoyed. But Eli just gently placed her on the sofa and turned to leave. "Eli brother." Lu Weiwei suddenly hooked her arms around his neck, actively offering her red lips, her usual aloofness completely gone. "Let's be together." Eli stiffened all over, with only one thought in his mind, push her away. He almost did so instinctively. Lu Weiwei was pushed back onto the sofa, and after a moment of stunned silence, she suddenly burst into laughter. "No need to keep the promise anymore," she said, leaning in close again. Even though I said I wouldn't let you touch me before marriage, her delicate fingers trailed over his chest as she whispered seductively, "Shall we go to the bedroom?" Eli pushed her away expressionlessly, offering an excuse that even he found laughable. "The bedroom is full of June's things, it's not appropriate." Lu Weiwei's eyes flashed with unwillingness, but she still forced a smile. "Then, how about the guest room?" Eli swallowed hard, but ultimately shook his head. "It's inconvenient everywhere at home. Every corner of this space bears June's traces, the slippers at the entrance, the mug on the coffee table, the wedding photo on the wall. How could he be intimate with another woman here? I'll take you home." Eli took a step back, his tone stiff. "I'm too tired today, not in the mood." Before Lu Weiwei could react, he dragged her out the door and roughly shoved her into the car. When they arrived at her apartment building, he mercilessly pulled her out of the car and sped off without a second glance. Lu Weiwei stood frozen in place for quite a while, but soon regained her composure. She knew Eli all too well. Over the past year, she had him completely under her thumb, keeping him at arm's length when she pleased, drawing him close when she desired. Now that she was suddenly making the first move to reconcile, he was merely putting on airs to try and regain the upper hand. "Let's see how long you can keep up the act," she sneered and turned to walk home. Within 3 hours, this man would surely come crawling back like a lapdog, begging for her forgiveness. Meanwhile, inside the car, Eli felt an inexplicable unease. In the past, when June got angry, she would cry, make a scene, and vent hysterically. But this time she was acting so unusually, calmly presenting the divorce papers without any fuss or argument when he refused. He remembered the last time they fought over divorce. June had smashed everything in the house. Eli drove restlessly, his thoughts growing increasingly chaotic. In a moment of distraction, the car suddenly crashed into the roadside guardrail. Bang! His head slammed heavily onto the airbag, and his vision momentarily darkened. Staggering, he pushed open the car door and steadied himself against the guardrail, blood from his temple trickling down his cheek. "June, what the hell are you up to?" Clenching his teeth, he pulled out his phone, but the call he made was met only with the cold tone of a powered-off device. His heart suddenly felt as if a piece had been torn out. Eli blacked out and collapsed to the ground. When he woke up again, it was already the next morning. By the hospital bed, Lu Weiwei, her eyes red and swollen, was crying uncontrollably. "Eli brother, the company has dismissed you. I was fired too." June, that vicious woman, issued the notice right after leaving the party yesterday, but it was only sent out this morning. Eli suddenly propped himself up from the hospital bed. "Dismissal? On what grounds? Who gave the order?" "It's June." Lu Weiwei sobbed uncontrollably. "She used your lifestyle issues as an excuse, and now the whole company is spreading rumors that I'm your mistress. I don't care, you have to take responsibility for me. Go divorce June, seize her shares, and kick her out of the company." Eli closed his eyes, his voice as cold as ice. "I won't get a divorce." Lu Weiwei's expression froze instantly. "Then what am I to you? Do you really see me as just your mistress?" Eli suddenly felt utterly disgusted by her domineering attitude. Did she really think she could replace June? What else? He sneered in retort. Lu Weiwei's face instantly turned deathly pale. Before she could speak, Eli said coldly, "Lu Weiwei, you can get lost now. You're not even qualified to be a mistress. I'm tired of you." Lu Weiwei froze for a few seconds, then suddenly grabbed her handbag and hurled it violently at Eli. "Eli, you bastard, I won't let you get away with this." Finally, security guards who heard the commotion came and dragged her out. Eli had his wounds reopened from the impact, and blood quickly soaked through the bandage on his head. At that moment, the phone suddenly rang. Eli answered the unfamiliar number immediately. "June," a stern female voice came through the phone. "Mr. Ross, hello, I am MS, Fox's attorney. The documents regarding the divorce proceedings have been sent to your email, including the property division agreement. I won't get divorced." Eli abruptly interrupted, his fingers unconsciously tightening around the bedsheet. The lawyer continued matter-of-factly, "MS, Fox has granted us full authority to handle." Eli hung up the phone directly. He felt the world spinning around him, a boulder pressing on his chest as his breathing grew increasingly labored. Darkness enveloped his vision as he passed out once again. After a week-long vacation on the new island, I headed straight to the company to attend the selection meeting for the new general manager. As soon as I reached the company entrance, I saw Eli leaning against the glass door. He was holding a cigarette, which surprised me since he had quit smoking 8 years ago. Amid the swirling smoke, his face looked particularly haggard. When he saw me, he hastily stubbed out his cigarette and instinctively waved his hand to disperse the lingering smoke. This gesture made me freeze for a moment. He still remembered how much I hated the smell of smoke. His voice was hoarse beyond recognition. "Honey, I know I was wrong. Please give me one last chance, okay? I've completely cut ties with Lu Weiwei. This past year I was bewitched, but I've always loved only you. Life is still long. Don't sentence me to death for one mistake, okay? I've heard such words too many times. Every time he knows he's wrong, yet never truly changes. Forgiving him is too easy, but who will heal the scars in my heart?" I gazed at him calmly, suddenly realizing my heart no longer rippled for him. "You're right, life is still long. I still believe in love, but that person will never be you again." His eyes instantly reddened, his trembling hand reaching out to stop me. "June, I'll give you the company. I don't want anything. Just please don't go." His voice choked with emotion. He suddenly fell to his knees. "I swear I'll change until you're satisfied. Wife, please don't divorce me. I really can't take it." Kneeling, swearing, weeping, the exact same act as last time. Does he still naively think I'll soften my heart again? Seeing me standing still without moving, a glimmer of hope suddenly lit up in his eyes, and he said cautiously, "Honey, I'll really change this time." I suddenly laughed, shaking my head lightly. "Don't call me that. The divorce papers have already been submitted to the court, with evidence totaling 8 gigabytes. If you want to see it, ask your lawyer." The light in his eyes dimmed bit by bit, until he finally lowered his head in defeat. I didn't give him another glance. Striding straight into the company, employees greeted me with smiles. "Good morning, Chairman." Taking a deep breath, the bitterness that had built up over the past year finally dissipated. After the divorce, I took full control of the company shares and compensated Eli for his 5 years of work according to market salary standards. Unexpectedly, he voluntarily gave up all the jointly owned properties, including those 28 real estate units. The only thing he insisted on keeping was the house we had lived in together for 5 years. He said it was his final resting place, his home, and he would guard it forever. Later, the neighbors told me he spent his days drowning in alcohol, and in the dead of night, heart-wrenching sobs could always be heard, until one day, news suddenly broke that he had been imprisoned. Lu Weiwei not only lost her job, but the affair also spread like wildfire online. It was also revealed that she had a habit of seducing other people's boyfriends back in school, a serial homewrecker, harboring a grudge against Eli. She sneaked into his house one night and found the drunken Eli. During the fight, she fell from the 2nd floor and was left paralyzed for life. The prison sent word that he wanted to see me, and I refused without hesitation. The only regret I have in this marriage is realizing too late, giving him too many chances to hurt me. For the rest of our lives, we need not meet again. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, so feel free to share your opinions. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great stories. We'll see you in the next video.